Have you been emotionally unstable, reactive, or overwhelmed lately? That's not random. The Scorpio full moon on May 12, 2025, is designed to expose what you've been avoiding. It forces you to confront emotional wounds, old trauma, and suppressed patterns. This energy isn't subtle, it's direct and relentless. This is not just another emotional phase. This moon is a turning point. It will push your buttons, test your emotional control, and demand accountability. If you're unwilling to change, it will create breakdowns that leave you no choice. The emotional intensity you're experiencing isn't accidental. It's a cosmic intervention. This Scorpio full moon operates like an emotional X-ray, penetrating through the layers of protection you've built around your deepest vulnerabilities. It's revealing exactly what needs attention, what can no longer be ignored, and what must be transformed. The universe is delivering a clear message through your emotional body, and the discomfort is intentional. This awakening process isn't gentle because gentle nudges haven't worked. You've likely been receiving hints and subtle redirections for months, possibly years, but the time for gentle guidance has passed. This full moon arrives with the force of a tsunami, because incremental change is no longer sufficient. Your soul is demanding evolution, not adjustment. The emotional waves crashing through your system are carrying away outdated patterns, limiting beliefs and false identities that have kept you confined to smaller versions of yourself. Consider this moon as a spiritual intervention orchestrated by the universe when you've resisted the quieter calls to change. It's bringing to light everything that's been festering in your emotional underground, the resentments you've nursed, the pain you've buried, the truths you've denied. This isn't punishment, it's liberation disguised as crisis. The very instability you're experiencing is actually the dismantling of what was never truly stable to begin with. Sleepless nights, emotional crashes, and sudden breakdowns are clear signs your system is under pressure. This isn't random. The Scorpio full moon is triggering long-standing, unresolved issues. Emotional wounds, past disappointments, repressed anger, and deep-rooted fears are surfacing to be dealt with directly and decisively. You may feel unstable or overwhelmed, but this is not a breakdown, it's a detox. Your nervous system is trying to stabilize while releasing years of built-up emotional energy. The discomfort you're experiencing is part of a necessary clearing process. Your body speaks the language of symptoms, and right now it's communicating loudly. The sudden emotional outbursts, the tears that come without warning, the irrational anger at minor triggers. These aren't signs of weakness or instability. They're evidence of an internal purification system working overtime. Just as a physical detox might cause headaches, fatigue, or nausea as toxins leave the body, an emotional detox creates psychological and emotional symptoms as stagnant energy moves through and out of your system. Pay close attention to when and how these symptoms manifest. Are you breaking down during specific conversations? Are certain environments triggering unexplained anxiety? Do particular people drain your energy more than usual? The timing and context of your emotional responses are providing a map to what needs healing. The body never lies. It's revealing precisely where you've been compromising your truth, where you've allowed boundaries to be crossed, where you've silenced your authentic voice. Your nervous system is adjusting to a higher frequency. Just as updating computer software often requires a system restart, updating your energetic operating system requires temporary disruption. The insomnia you're experiencing isn't just stress, it's your consciousness processing emotional data while your conscious mind rests. The vivid dreams, random memories, and sudden realizations are all part of your psyche reorganizing itself around new truth. This period of instability isn't meant to last forever. It's a transitional phase, intense but purposeful. Your emotional and energetic bodies are calibrating to a new normal, one that can hold more light, more truth, and more power. The temporary discomfort is the price of permanent evolution. What feels like breaking down is actually breaking open. Pay attention to what's coming up. It's not just pain, it's data. These emotional reactions are pointing to unresolved areas that need immediate review. You need to take deliberate steps. Write down what triggers you. Review your recurring emotional patterns. Identify where you're still reacting from past hurt instead of present truth. Don't wait for these emotions to fade. Don't mask them. This is your opportunity to actively clean up the mental and emotional backlog. If you don't act now, the symptoms will increase. More confusion, more anxiety, more emotional exhaustion. Create a dedicated journal for this lunar cycle. Document every emotional trigger without censorship or judgment. Be ruthlessly honest about what you're feeling and what prompted it. Look for patterns in your reactions. Are you consistently triggered by certain types of comments? Do specific interactions leave you feeling drained or diminished? This documentation isn't just therapeutic, it's diagnostic. You're creating a personal emotional map that reveals where healing must occur. Establish a daily practice of emotional check-ins. Set 3 specific times each day to pause and assess your emotional state. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What preceded this feeling? This practice builds emotional intelligence and prevents the buildup of unexpressed feelings that eventually erupt as emotional crises. Review your boundaries in all significant relations. Make 3 lists. Boundaries that are being respected, boundaries that are being violated, and boundaries you've failed to establish clearly. For each violated boundary, develop a clear statement of what you need and how you'll communicate it. For missing boundaries, craft specific language to express your needs directly and compassionately. Examine your daily habits and identify those that are serving as emotional numbing mechanisms. Are you scrolling social media to avoid uncomfortable feelings? Using work as an escape from personal issues? Over-consuming food, alcohol, or entertainment to distract from inner turmoil? For each numbing behavior, create an alternative response that allows emotional processing rather than avoidance. Develop a specific protocol for intense emotional moments. When you feel overwhelmed, have a predefined sequence of actions. Perhaps 5 deep breaths, followed by writing for 10 minutes, then physical movement for 5 minutes. Having this protocol prevents you from falling into habitual reactions when emotions intensify. Connect with at least one trusted person who can witness your process without trying to fix it. Schedule regular check-ins where you can express your uncensored truth and be received with compassion rather than solution. Being witnessed in your vulnerability accelerates healing in ways that solo processing cannot achieve. This full moon peaks on May 12th at 22. It brings a non-negotiable shift. It targets what's been delayed, denied, or covered up, and makes it impossible to keep avoiding it. The T-square with Pluto and Mars increases volatility. Expect tension to escalate in areas where you've been silent, passive, or indecisive. Emotional outbursts, confrontations, and power struggles may emerge quickly. Neptune's involvement increases emotional sensitivity, confusion, and subconscious downloads. You might feel overwhelmed by emotion or unsure of what's real. The astrological configuration of this particular full moon creates a perfect storm of transformative energy. Scorpio itself governs the realms of death, rebirth, sexuality, shared resources, and the shadow self. When the moon reaches fullness in this sign, it illuminates precisely these aspects of your life. Nothing in the shadowy depths can remain hidden under this powerful light. The specific degree of this full moon, 22 Dikos, amplifies its potency, as 22 is a master number in numerology associated with building substantial, lasting structures. This means the revelations occurring now aren't temporary insights, but foundational shifts that will form the basis of your next life chapter. The challenging T-square aspect between the Moon, Mars, and Pluto creates a pressure cooker effect for transformation. Mars, the planet of action and assertion, is pushing you to move beyond contemplation into decisive action. Its influence makes it virtually impossible to remain in passive observation of your circumstances. You will feel an undeniable urge to confront, change, and resolve what's been festering. Meanwhile, Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth, is demanding complete surrender of outdated aspects of your identity. This isn't about minor adjustments, it's about fundamental reinvention. Neptune's influence adds another dimension to this cosmic cocktail. As the planet of spirituality, dreams, and dissolution, Neptune is thinning the veil between your conscious and unconscious mind. Information from your deeper self is flowing more freely into your awareness, often arriving as confusing emotional states, vivid dreams, or synchronistic events that seem too meaningful to be coincidental. You may experience moments where reality feels fluid or dreamlike. This isn't mental instability, but a temporary softening of the boundaries between dimensions of consciousness. The South Node's involvement connects this lunar event to your soul's journey across lifetimes. The specific karmic patterns being activated now have likely been with you for multiple incarnations. They represent your oldest wounds, most persistent challenges, and most deeply ingrained patterns. The pressure you're feeling is proportional to how long these patterns have been operating in your soul's journey. What's being uprooted now has extensive roots in your spiritual history. Venus and Jupiter are forming a supportive sextile during this full moon, offering a grace note in an otherwise challenging configuration. This aspect provides opportunities for healing through connection, creativity, and authentic expression. It suggests that while the process is intense, you're not meant to navigate it entirely alone. Divine timing is bringing the right resources, insights, and supporters into your experience precisely when you need them most. If you feel overstimulated, exhausted, or mentally foggy, it's your signal to disconnect immediately. Cut off distractions, turn off social media, put your phone away, and remove yourself from environments that overwhelm your senses. You need mental clarity to move forward, and you won't get it if you're constantly overstimulated. What you're feeling isn't a sign that you're off path. It's your system processing an energetic upgrade. Take practical steps. Make a list of everything that's causing stress. Highlight what you can cut or change right now. Ground yourself with action. Drink water. Breathe deeply. Move your body. Your nervous system is undergoing a significant recalibration during this time. The electromagnetic field of your body, your personal energy system, is adjusting to hold and process more intense frequency. This adjustment requires energy and creates temporary sensitivity. Just as eyes need time to adjust when moving from darkness to bright light, your entire system needs time to adjust to these heightened vibrations. The overwhelm you're experiencing isn't weakness. It's a natural response to accelerated energetic evolution. Create a sensory sanctuary in your home, a space completely free from electronic devices, artificial lights, and external demand. Even if it's just a corner of a room, designate this as your energetic reset zone. Spend at least 20 minutes daily here in complete stillness, allowing your system to integrate the changes without additional input. This isn't luxury, it's essential maintenance during an energetic upgrade. Implement strict boundaries around information consumption. The average person consumes more information in a day than someone in the 1800s processed in a lifetime. This constant influx taxes your already stressed system. Limit news consumption to once daily. Check social media on a schedule rather than reflexively. Turn off all notifications except direct communications from essential people. Your attention is your most precious resource during this time. Guard it fiercely. Reconnect with natural rhythms to stabilize your energy. Spend time barefoot on the earth daily. The direct contact with the Earth's electromagnetic field helps regulate your own bioelectric system. Align your sleep schedule more closely with natural light when possible. Eat foods that grow locally and seasonally, as they carry the energetic information most aligned with your current environment. These practices help your body remember its natural state of balance amidst the cosmic recalibration. Develop awareness of your energetic boundaries in interactions. Notice which conversations, people, or environments seem to deplete your energy most rapidly. Without judgment or blame, limit exposure to these situations temporarily. Your energy field is more permeable during this time, making you more susceptible to absorbing others' emotional states. Visualize a protective light surrounding you before entering potentially draining situations, and energetically shower afterward by imagining water washing away any residual energies that aren't yours. Practice radical presence as an antidote to overwhelm. When sensations of anxiety or mental fog arise, bring your full attention to the physical sensations in your body. Name them specifically: tightness in chest, racing thoughts, heaviness in stomach. This simple practice of embodied awareness prevents the escalation of overwhelm and helps your nervous system return to regulation. The more you can stay present with sensations without creating stories about them, the more efficiently your system can process and release the energy moving through you. Any relationship that drains you, habit that undermines you, or belief that limits you, is now being forced into the spotlight. You will not be able to hide from it or justify it any longer. This energy is designed to make you face the uncomfortable truth. What's not aligned must go. Abrupt shifts, confrontations, and emotional disruptions are likely. If something exits your life during this time, it's not bad luck. It's a reset. It was holding you back, slowing you down, or blocking your evolution. The purging process underway isn't random or chaotic, though it may feel that way. It's a precisely orchestrated clearing of specific frequencies that can no longer coexist with your evolving consciousness. Think of it as an energetic immune response. Your system is identifying and eliminating patterns that have become toxic to your growth. Just as a fever isn't comfortable but serves to kill pathogens, this emotional and mental purging isn't pleasant but serves to eliminate spiritual toxins. This purge operates on multiple dimensions simultaneously. On the physical level, you might experience unusual body symptoms, digestive disturbances, skin eruptions, fluctuations in energy, or changes in appetite. These are physical manifestations of energetic clearing. On the emotional level, unexpected feelings may surface: grief for no apparent reason, anger at past situations long forgotten, or anxiety about aspects of your life you thought you'd accepted. On the mental level, beliefs you've held for decades may suddenly seem false or limited. This multidimensional clearing is comprehensive and thorough. The relationships being highlighted for examination now are typically those with the deepest karmic connection. These aren't necessarily your newest relationships, but often your oldest and most established ones. Family relationships, long-term friendships, or partnerships that have defined major life chapters. The discomfort arising in these connections isn't a sign they're wrong, it's a call to evolve them to their next level of truth and authenticity. Some will transform through honest communication, others will naturally complete their cycle and conclude. This purging process can feel particularly threatening to your ego structure, which is designed to maintain consistency and avoid change. Your ego may generate fear, rationalization, or denial as protective measures against the very changes your soul is initiating. Recognize these ego responses without judgment. They're normal protective functions, but they shouldn't dictate your choices during this pivotal time. The temporary discomfort of change is far less damaging than the long-term pain of resisting necessary evolution. The timeline of this purge isn't entirely within your control. While your conscious choices can facilitate or hinder the process, the deeper rhythm follows cosmic timing rather than personal preference. Some changes will manifest with surprising speed, while others may require sustained attention over weeks or months. Trust the timing without forcing or resisting it. Your system knows exactly how quickly you can integrate each specific release without becoming overwhelmed by the cumulative effect. This isn't the time for spiritual bypassing or vague affirmations. This is a time for action. Have the difficult conversations, break the cycle, cancel the commitment, or walk away from what's breaking your peace. The window for change is open now, but it won't stay that way. Stop looking for clarity and signs and symbols. The message is already loud. Now it's on you to act. There is no room for sitting on the fence. You will either keep repeating the same patterns that have drained you, or you will finally take full responsibility and change course. You've already seen the signs. You already know what needs to go. You stand at a critical juncture in your soul's evolution. The energetic infrastructure supporting your old patterns is being systematically dismantled by cosmic forces, creating a rare window where change requires less effort than resistance. Within this window, your intentions and actions carry unprecedented creative power. The universe is essentially asking, what reality will you choose to build in the space being cleared? Your answer, expressed through your decisions now, will determine the trajectory of your next major life cycle. Recognize that indecision is a decision. Every day you postpone making a clear choice about what must change, you are actively choosing to reinforce existing patterns. The universe interprets your inaction as preference for the status quo, regardless of how much you intellectually claim to want something different. Only concrete action translates intention into reality. Your spiritual growth doesn't happen in the realm of ideas and desires. It manifests through the tangible choices you make when facing exactly the situations that trigger your deepest fear. Be especially wary of the subtle forms of avoidance that masquerade as spiritual wisdom. Statements like "everything happens for a reason" or "I'm surrendering this to the universe" can become sophisticated excuses for avoiding responsibility. True spiritual maturity means acknowledging both the cosmic forces at work and your active role in co-creating your reality. The universe provides the energy for change, but you must direct that energy through specific choices and actions. The decisions required now are rarely about surface circumstances. They're about the underlying patterns these circumstances represent. A job change isn't just about different work, it's about how you value your energy and talents. A relationship boundary isn't just about specific behaviors, it's about your fundamental beliefs about love and worthiness. A lifestyle change isn't just about external habits, it's about your relationship with yourself. Identify the core pattern each decision addresses, and your choices become clearer and more consequential. There's a direct relationship between the difficulty of the decision and its transformative potential. The choices that create the most resistance, fear, or uncertainty are precisely the ones with the greatest power to catalyze growth. This doesn't mean all difficult choices are right, but it does mean your most significant evolution typically lies on the other side of your most challenging decision. The degree of discomfort you feel when contemplating a change often reflects the degree of liberation waiting on the other side of that choice. This moon targets the parts of you you've buried or ignored, your real thoughts, memories, and emotional imprints. It may trigger old experiences that never got closure, childhood events that shaped your fears, or unconscious habits you've inherited from family or past life patterns. These are not illusions. These are suppressed aspects of your identity that need to be seen, understood, and released. Take time alone to reflect. Write down what comes up. Track patterns. The emotions or images that resurface now are not random. They're data about what still controls you. The patterns emerging now have deep roots in your personal history and possibly extend beyond your current lifetime. They represent core wounds and primal beliefs about safety, love, worth, and belonging. These patterns weren't created in recent years. They were established during your most vulnerable developmental periods or carried forward from ancestral or past life experiences. Their activation now indicates you've reached sufficient consciousness to finally address and transform them at their source, rather than merely managing their symptoms. Approach these emerging patterns with archaeological precision. Each emotional reaction, recurring thought, or compulsive behavior is an artifact, holding crucial information about your deepest programming. Examine these artifacts with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask specific questions. When did I first feel this way? Who taught me to respond like this? What belief about myself or the world does this pattern protect? The insights gained through this investigation aren't merely interesting, they're keys to unlocking and recoding your fundamental operating system. Pay particular attention to patterns involving your primary relationships, especially with parents, caregivers, or early authority figures. The full moon in Scorpio often illuminates how these formative relationships created templates for all subsequent connections. You may suddenly recognize how a parent's communication style shaped your conflict avoidance, how a caregiver's inconsistency programmed your abandonment fears, or how family dynamics established your expectations about love and support. These revelations aren't about assigning blame. They're about understanding the origins of patterns you can now consciously choose to transform. Dreams during this period deserve special attention. Your subconscious mind is working overtime to process and integrate the energetic shifts occurring, and dreams serve as a direct channel for this communication. Keep a dream journal by your bed and record impressions immediately upon waking, before your conscious mind can rationalize or forget them. Look for recurring symbols, emotions, or scenarios. These dream patterns often reveal what your conscious mind is still resistant to acknowledge. Notice where your body holds these deeper patterns. Emotional and energetic patterns always have physical correlates. Tension in specific muscles, restricted breathing patterns, areas of chronic pain or discomfort. As memories or insights surface, scan your body for physical responses. Where do you feel contraction? Where does energy seem blocked? These bodily sensations aren't secondary to the psychological work. They're integral to it. Releasing patterns requires both cognitive understanding and physical unwinding of the energetic imprint stored in your tissue. The days following this Scorpio full moon will likely be heavy. Emotional fatigue, lack of motivation, and mental fog are common responses to deep energetic clearing. Your system is flushing out emotional residue that has been stored for years, sometimes decades. This is not a sign of weakness. It's the natural outcome of a forced internal reset. You may feel disconnected from others or frustrated with the pace of change. This is your signal to slow down, not give up. Use this time with intention. Limit overstimulation. Reflect on what's come up and get brutally honest about what's no longer working. The integration phase is as crucial as the activation itself. Much like physical exercise requires recovery time to build strength, emotional and energetic clearing requires integration time to consolidate new patterns. During this period, your system is literally rewiring neural pathways and energetic channels to accommodate your evolving consciousness. Pushing too quickly into normal activity disrupts this essential reconfiguration process. Honor this integration phase as sacred work, not downtime. Your energy may fluctuate dramatically during this period. You might experience sudden bursts of clarity and motivation, followed by profound exhaustion. This oscillation is normal and reflects the non-linear nature of spiritual evolution. Rather than expecting steady progress, adapt your activities to honor these natural rhythms. During high-energy windows, focus on implementation and action. During low-energy phases, prioritize reflection and rest. This rhythmic approach works with your body's intelligence rather than against it. Your relationship with time may temporarily shift during this integration phase. You might experience time dilation, moments that seem to stretch eternally, or hours that pass in what feels like minutes. You may feel synchronistically aligned with certain people or events, while completely disconnected from others. These temporal anomalies reflect your system adjusting to a different relationship with time itself. The linear chronological experience of time is partially a construct of limited consciousness. As your consciousness expands through this transformation, your perception of time naturally shifts as well. Many experience a form of identity disorientation during this phase. Activities, relationships, or goals that previously felt important may suddenly seem irrelevant or empty. Conversely, new interests or connections may emerge with surprising intensity. This reconfiguration of priorities reflects a deeper alignment with your authentic self, rather than confusion or instability. The question, "Who am I now?" is both appropriate and powerful during this time. Allow the answer to emerge organically rather than clinging to familiar self-definitions that may no longer fit your evolving essence. Create specific rituals to honor and integrate the changes occurring. These might include writing letters to aspects of yourself or your life that you're releasing, creating symbolic representations of your emerging path, or establishing daily practices that reinforce your new awareness. Ritual helps bridge the conscious and unconscious aspects of transformation, creating coherence between your intellectual understanding and your embodied experience. Even simple rituals like lighting a candle while setting intentions or taking a salt bath while visualizing the release of old energy can significantly accelerate integration. This moon will not wait for you to feel ready. If you've done the necessary inner work, let go of toxic relationships, ended old habits, confronted your fears, you will see real results, sharper thinking, stronger boundaries, and clearer direction. You must now take full control of your choices. Let go of reactive behavior. Start planning from a place of power, not fear. Be ruthless with what drains your focus. Say no without guilt. You're not here to please others. You're here to align with your purpose. This is where transformation becomes visible. If you stay consistent and disciplined, this moon will act as a permanent shift in your mindset and reality. The transformations catalyzed by this full moon extend far beyond the immediate lunar cycle. You're establishing new baseline frequencies that will influence every aspect of your experience moving forward. The work you do now isn't temporary adjustment, but fundamental recalibration. While the intensity of the current process will eventually subside, The evolutionary trajectory you're establishing will continue unfolding for months and years to come. You're not just changing circumstances, you're changing the energetic lens through which you perceive and create reality. This transformation operates as a quantum leap rather than incremental change. Quantum evolution occurs when sufficient energy accumulates within a system to shift it entirely to a new state of organization. The discomfort you're experiencing now is precisely this accumulation of transformative energy reaching critical mass. Once this threshold is crossed, your consciousness reorganizes around a more expanded set of possibilities. What seemed impossible from your previous state becomes your new normal. Capacities and awareness that were theoretical become lived experience. The most significant marker of successful transformation will be a new relationship with resistance itself. Before this shift, you likely experienced resistance as a signal to stop, retreat, or doubt your direction. After this integration, you'll recognize resistance as confirmation you're expanding beyond familiar limitations. This single perceptual shift fundamentally alters how you navigate challenges. Rather than being deterred by difficulty, you'll learn to differentiate between resistance that signals genuine misalignment and resistance that merely indicates growth beyond comfort zones. Your intuitive capacities will likely undergo significant enhancement through this process. What previously registered as vague feelings or easily dismissed hunches will develop into clear internal guidance. You'll notice an increased synchronization between your intuitive impressions and external validation. This isn't mystical but practical. As you clear emotional and mental static through this transformation, your natural intuitive abilities function with greater precision and reliability. This enhanced intuition becomes an invaluable navigation system for maintaining your new trajectory. This transformation doesn't end with you. As you embody these changes, you automatically affect the fields of consciousness around you. Without effort or intention, your shifted presence creates ripple effects in your relationships, environments, and communities. This isn't about proselytizing or converting others to your perspective. It's about the natural resonance that occurs when one element in a system fundamentally changes. Your transformation becomes both personal evolution and service to the collective field. The ultimate measure of this transformation will be your capacity to remain centered in your truth, regardless of external circumstances. Before this shift, your state was largely determined by conditions outside yourself. After integration, you'll increasingly generate your state from within, responding to circumstances without being defined by them. This inner sovereignty doesn't mean detachment from the world, but engagement from a place of authentic power rather than reactivity. It's the difference between being moved by every wind and being the steady center in changing weather, still responsive, but never displaced from your core truth.